What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. We heard news about the leaks of the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, as well as we also got leaks from a data breach from Wolverine. It's been a wild day or past few hours on the internet, but I wanted to go ahead and make a video addressing something, and I'm not talking about the leaks directly. For those of you who've watched or seen the leaks or whatever it is, this is not a video for us to come and break it down. However, the response that the leaks have actually inspired or at least triggered is quite interesting in a sense. Now, I know that there are crazy people on Twitter. Those of you who told me to go to Twitter years ago, I thank you, but then at the same time, I have seen some really interesting parts of the whole gaming community that I almost wish I hadn't seen. So we're going to have those people who are going to create a big problem out of every single thing. However, it seems that some fans genuinely who want to be reasonable are not necessarily happy with what it is that they've seen, if true. And I think the best thing that we can do, those of us who are fans, is we can make our decision and follow through with it. And I encourage you to do that. So if what you've seen or heard has, encouraged or deterred you from actually engaging in a project, I recommend that you do that because you know what's best for you. So if you're going to buy the game, buy the game. If you're not going to buy the game, don't buy the game. Make that resolve. Show that this is exactly what it is that you want. That's pretty much how things, ought to be. However, I would recommend that you cut some slack to the developers. The developers are following instructions that have been given to them from people who run the show. It's not necessarily them that are constantly doing everything. Now, we don't know the full story, but I doubt that there are many developers who are happy and excited to make a live service game that one day could vaporize because the servers are no longer there. Nobody has, any evidence of their work that they can deal with except maybe videos, if you get what I mean. So I would recommend that you pretty much be gracious to those developers in a sense. However, there is a side that I must point out because a lot of the, what we've seen in the last few years is some kind of a weird subversion in entertainment writing of video games. That's specifically video games. It appears that there seems to be in League some kind of measure of who can out-edge the other person in terms of subverting fan expectations. We saw one of those huge subversive methodologies implemented in The Last of Us Part 2 in the way they killed off Joel. We saw another minor subversion where fans said, we don't want Mary Jane Watson to be doing missions in Spider-Man. We don't really like it. Yet the director is like, I don't care if she's OP. We went ahead and did it anyways. And then we not only did a few missions, we did 3 full-blown missions. Not only did we do these 3 full-blown missions, we stepped over more capable superheroes or anti-heroes like Yuri, Felicia Harding, Tombstone, Prowler, and others to put in the game a journalist who is supposedly supposed to be really strong and has supposedly hung out with Silver Sable for like 2 months. And we made this person start nuking Venom minions and dealing with hunters, bad guys. Subversion of the world. Basically, all the seriousness you put in, you don't thrown it out the window. And now we see something of some sort in the Batman game. Even though the title of the game, even though it is spelling that, yes, this is going to happen. Now, the one thing I want to say with this is you can see why fans are suspicious and everything is just, in my opinion anyway, such a big deal right now, is because this constant subversion has already come, down the pipeline over multiple media in terms of video games. So here's my appeal to creative directors and to game directors and to studio directors. With as much power you have, you might want to encourage your teams to pull off what we call fan service. And the reason we say that is because this whole gaming industry and the way things are going is no longer a joke anymore. Fan service equals dollars. Fan not service does not bring forward a lot of dollars anymore. And as much as writers want to be edgy, creative, provoking, and all that, they have to walk very carefully because there's an economic eggshell hovering or at least littered everywhere that everybody must walk carefully around. This ain't the time for you to be showing how artsy you are. Do fan service so that fans can put money in the coffers of the studios so that you can keep developers employed, so that HR stays busy cutting checks. This is no joke anymore. This is weird, man. Like, I have to sit here and be like, what in the world is going on? Warm, fuzzy feelings is what brings, people who consume entertainment to spend money. That they are able to enjoy the show, enjoy the game, enjoy whatever it is you're doing, your story that you're telling. These are the things that bring money into the coffers of the company, and hopefully the company continues to expand and make more games or make more entertainment media, and the creators of those media, the developers and people who work in the studios, continue to get paid. This is how this math works. There is no sustainability where you're lighting up all of the good guys. Joel lit up. Batman in Gotham Knights lit up, then lit up again. I mean, literally. I mean, I just don't see how that is a sustainable path to go down the road. I liked and enjoyed Gotham Knights. Fine, they took care of the whole Batman trope at the beginning of the game, and then at the end of the game again, made him out to be some kind of a hero in a sense. But a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people did not like it. Thankfully, I like the combat for Gotham Knights. I think it's a very solid combat system. I sit here all day and I argue with people. I'm like, well, if you think the combat's not good, let me see how you play. And I show them how I play, and they're like, they run away, though. They scatter because the combat's solid. But for the most part, that story was a bit subversive to everything. They started out with, like, Batman is dead, like, straight up. So I commend and I say, please, do not be offing the people that your fans have come to see in a video game, right? We get it. You want to be edgy, but let the fans feel warm, fuzzy feelings. The reason they are coming to your product, the reason they want to play your game is because of that enjoyment that they got. And I say warm, fuzzy, I just mean in a sense like, people are entertained and, they see that the end goal, the good guy wins, and the good guy is not necessarily like getting smoked and all that stuff. This is just common sense. I would think this is something that would be done. And I say in as much as it is in their power. They're studio heads and studio leaders. There are a lot of young kids that are coming out of school that, want to write, that want to, in a sense, show how provocative they can be. But humans are humans. And these same humans are the ones that are going to be buying the products. So whenever they want to get out of hand or get out of pocket, don't encourage them. I laughed when Brian Intihar said, I don't give a S. We made her OP. I think he was facing pressure from the writers in his studio to want to go ahead and put Mary Jane in the game. And he was like, you know what? Let's just do it anyways. He kind of just caved because he wanted to give them something. Sometimes you got to encourage your team. If your team wants something, you got to go out. You got to make sure that your team can get, some concessions. That's basically what leadership is about. However, you do not let them affect the bottom line if you can help it. That's pretty much how you do it. I don't know how else to say it, but, this is going to get out of hand very soon. And again, these big companies, they are not playing around. This year, they've shown that, we will cut, budgets. We will cut funding in a heartbeat if it came down to it. So these are just some of my thoughts about this stuff, And like I've said, as gamers, we know exactly where to, what we're going to be investing in. But I encourage that we be gracious because there's situations and scenarios that are coming from the pipeline. But it just seems to me like this trend, it just continues to just roll itself over. I don't know what they're going to do with the Wonder Woman. I don't know what they're going to do with Wolverine. I'm looking forward to Wolverine. I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman. These are superheroes that I like, to see in media. So we don't know if they're going to go ahead and then subvert them again. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, so what's going to happen now? What's going to happen in Wonder Woman? What's going to happen in Wolverine? These are very interesting, times that we're seeing. And trust me, AAA, if y'all don't do it, Indie's going to do it. Psh, maybe you think you're the only one that makes video games. Please. Talk to me in the comment section, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.